Hello Leo, this is Victoria and I'm here with your April Tarot forecast. As always, we'll be looking at your personal space and love life, your career and workspace, and we'll get you guidance on how to best navigate the energies of the months of April. At the end, I'll post some messages from your person of interest to yourself. So, we will begin with a quick oracle message actually from the Sacred Traveler. Let me know if you like the one I used last time for the Sacred Forest. I mean, I think it's really cool, but trying to mix it up a little bit. And I'm finally getting access to all of my decks in April, and also looking to get one very special new tarot deck that I'm excited about. So yeah, it's gonna be very interesting when it comes to May readings for next month. And in the meantime, we just had full moon in Pisces, in Libra. On the 1st of April was a very powerful moon that really questioned our personal boundaries, our relationships, and how we hold our own versus how do we compromise, or how do we reach agreement or get into alignment, you know, like this nuances and shades. This reading is for Sun, Moon, and Rising Leo. So if you're watching this for a sun sign, please check out videos for other placements as well. And of course, if you're new, there's more info in the description box about my content and services. Please subscribe as well so you don't miss any new readings. And I'm also doing daily card of the day shorts. I'm doing twin flame readings, and I'm doing some readings. I'm doing some videos on spirituality, mindfulness, best practices. I'm publishing them on my other channel, Mindful Bamboo, but I usually cross-reference them here, so you guys, if you're a subscriber, you will see those posts in the community tab and you won't miss out on those. Alright, so you've got Navigating by the Stars. Follow your bliss. Yeah, so I was just talking about the moon. Usually the moon is the signifier of the feminine energy and also the intuitive guidance, you know, the gut feel, connection with your guides, versus the sun energy, which is masculine energy, and it's more about the external world, you know. It's a little more rationale based, right, analytical, etc., etc. So right now you are, and Leo is connected to the sun energy naturally, right? So it might be more instinctive, you know, to make your decisions or to build your opinion based on the information that you have at hand. And now you're really being asked to dive deeper into your intuitive guidance and go with what feels right, with what, you know, when you have a tingling inside of you, you know, what your heart is telling you versus your mind. Which may be definitely out of place for some people, for a lot of people, let's be honest, right? And that's the lesson that you're learning in April. It is getting dark in here, as you can see, and I'm doing this reading outside, so I apologize if I take extra few seconds to see the cards well. Thank goodness for iPhone, that still gives me good lighting to do it so you guys can see it when I'm showing them. And I have a little bit of light in here in the backyard. So we've got the Seven of Wands. This is for your personal space and love life, and I speak to all of this in a moment. We have Four of Swords, and we have Eight of Coins. Then for your workspace and career, you have the Devil. This is Capricorn energy. You could be dealing with a Capricorn. You have Judgment, which is Scorpio energy. And the Seven of Swords. And finally, advice from the universe. Death. I was like, seriously, Devil, and we have Death underneath. This is another Scorpio card. Very strong Scorpio energy for you. Five of Cups and Eight of Wands. Couple of eights, couple of sevens. It's like new information. This full moon is illuminating, or has illuminated some new information for you where it's not necessarily in your face huge, but it's something like, I never really thought about it that way. Or, I never tried eating this type of food because I had that judgment, but now I see that maybe I was wrong. Or had a wrong opinion of that person, and now based on, this new information, new conversation, or whatever I'm hearing about their story, I understand that I got it wrong, right? The Three of Swords at the bottom of the deck, it's more of a regret I see here rather than actual heartbreak. It's like, yeah, I mean, I could have, I don't know, spent more time with this person, and maybe we would have built some beautiful memories together, right? But I made my judgments too early and lost that chance, something along those lines. Yeah, I'm now starting to get mosquitoes too, so good for those who don't like long readings, because I am gonna speed this up a little. I'm doing my own experiments, with how far can I go without any kind of repellent. By the way, one of my biggest insights from March is that citronella oil works just great against mosquitoes. I still need to get some for myself because I borrowed somebody else's on my previous trip, and now I need to get it. And I mean, it's not like it's sold on every corner, but apparently they have some choices at Walmart, so this is a tip for someone. Now, for your personal space, we have the Seven of Wands, the Four of Swords, and the Eight of Coins. So it's like working on yourself, working on your identity. And I'm not saying working like changing, updating. A lot of times when we hear personal growth or personal development, we think that we're supposed to learn, like, what does good look like what am I supposed to be doing, right, to get to that next level. And I mean, it is to a certain extent correct, but it's not about learning new skills so you become a different person, right? It's more about uncovering who you really are, what your preferences are, likes and dislikes, your fears, what gives you joy and excitement, all these things. And if anything, it's about working on removing burdens, releasing them, finding closure, showing up for yourself, and that's Four of Swords here. For yourself and for your inner child, right? Building that environment of safety so that your fears and past wounds do not limit you in your current vision, judgment, and life choices. So in this month, this is all minor arcana. So in this month, you've got to roll up your sleeves and put in the work to that, and you can start, I mean, as I'm saying this, you probably already got an idea of what is it for you specifically. But again, there's no one template. Maybe you're thinking, okay, I'm having trouble, I don't know, making friends at my new job, or I'm having trouble going to the doctor with this health issue I've had, right? Maybe because I'm scared, or my neighbors are super annoying and they do da 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 da, right? Or I'd like to be more artistic and maybe start creating more on the regular basis, but I have no idea where to start, right? Like, these are your clues, whatever comes up to you naturally, as long as it's your personal inclination. And of course, the best way to recognize that is to use mindfulness practices, whether it's meditation, prayer, or your own recipe, right? But those tools really help us hear that voice, and not just the ego, or not what somebody else is telling us to do, which a lot of times, unfortunately, the way our psyche works, especially if it's a person close to us that has importance to us, we almost like erase that part where it was actually somebody else, it wasn't me, right? They kind of imposed it on me, but I just take it in and then I run with it. A lot of us do that, so be careful with that. This is about discovering what you want, who you are, not what somebody else wants you to do. For your career space, you have the Devil, the Judgment, and Seven of Swords, all heavy cards, I'll be honest with you, Leo. It's like you're finally waking up to some truth of how people were taking advantage of you, to the extent where you thought maybe that they were doing you a favor, helping you out, I don't know, spreading the word, whatever, finding new clients, and you're so grateful, and maybe even felt, in debt and somehow uncomfortable. but now you realize that they've actually gotten theirs like tenfold from you, from being connected to you. So this is like this judgment of the judgment call, or the judgment day, you know, like what is this all about, right? Or how does this energy exchange work? For some of you, it's almost the other way around. I'm hearing where you thought that this person was, I don't know, wasting your time, or that client never paid in time. That was so terrible. Like there's some kind of negative situation that now you're seeing how much that was actually a wake-up call to some kind of an issue or something that you need to change, right? Like you wouldn't have seen it otherwise, but this person in this situation really helped you understand where there was a flaw in your process, or where you had to be more diligent with some checks, or you know, communication just needed to be different for it to work without causing friction and conflict. So here, on like, unlike the personal space, here we have two major arcanas, which means that you'll be presented with the experiences that will help you get that clarity and shape new skills. So you don't really need to reinvent the wheel. Just pay attention to what is happening and try to be more curious to see where the lessons and the learnings are, and how this information is actually a blessing in disguise. I mean, it always is, I guess, when the truth comes out, right? But the situation itself, right, may not feel and may not sound that great when you hear about it. And finally, the advice from the universe. We have the Death, the Five of Cups, and the Eight of Wands. So it's about looking forward, not into the future, not into the past. This is like the transition to something new and amazing, right? And I started talking about a little bit of a regret, was that heartbreak that we saw with Three of Swords. Something like, you know, coulda, woulda, shoulda. I could have done better in this relationship, or I didn't have to lose those clients, or whatever it is. But it's really, now it's time to let go and think of the future, of how this information helps you shape who you want to be, or where you want to be, you know, that vision of your identity and, you know, of your lifestyle, essentially, right? It's a complete transformation. And again, it's like ripping off the band-aid, you know, it's burning in the moment, right? But on the other side of it, it's beautiful. And with the Death, it's also scary because you don't really know, once this part of your life, or this relationship, or this phase, whatever it is, dies, what comes next? You don't know, right? And that's scary. So it's very much about trust. But more than anything, try to ground yourself and stay in the present moment, because the more you reminisce about the past and how maybe you could have done better, the longer this transition period will take. Okay, last but not least, a message from your person of interest to yourself. What does Leo need to know? What is the message from their person of interest? All right. Look at that Judgment. Ace of Swords. I love this, actually. This is so much full moon in Libra energy, honestly, and Queen of Cups. So this means that your person is also seeing themselves better. They're getting clarity on what do they want for themselves. Not just like what society expects us to do, you know, get married, get a house, I don't know, have children, make a living, right? It's on a deeper level. It's like, who am I in this world, you know? How do I call myself? What's the story that I want to tell when I'm not, you know, a spouse, a parent, and whatever the day job is, right? There's new realization that your person is getting for what their calling is, what their mission and purpose is in this life, and they definitely want to share this with you. And there's a lot of hope and inspiration that they will be able to say the right words for you to hear and to understand and to support. And then, of course, that you will actually support and meet them there, even if it's something that may not seem logical or reasonable at first, that you would let them run with it, live with it, dream it, you know, and start bringing it more into reality. The Ace of Swords also about the air element. So it's about speaking, it's about communicating who you are, your truth, your identity. So very synchronistic message that your person is having, a little bit kind of on their own. So it's like, don't think that you somehow are not part of that vision anymore just because they're getting onto something new, right? But they may need some time and space to figure out, to flesh out the details, you know, even in terms of how do they say it to you. So please show some kindness and compassion to that. And of course, you can always, if you feel guided, open the doors proactively for that kind of conversation and communication, especially since it looks like you were going through something similar and maybe there's something that your person can relate to. All right, I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much for joining me today, Leo. If you enjoyed the video, please like, and of course, new people, please subscribe. And until next time,